As we, the United States, starts getting more and more involved in the war against ISIS, we've been saying this for years. I'm going to say it every time, but as that's happening, I think we have to focus now on the Korean Peninsula and China. We have a real issue building here. We've been talking about just the young un, Kim Jong-un, who's been running around. Now it's just killed people with poison, with the VX, and it's always shooting off his missiles and building up his nuclear stockpile. But it's worse than that now. What has happened is we have President Trump starting with China about the one China policy. It kind of backed off, and then China, because they seem to get angry about the Kim Jong-un. It looks like he can't prove it, but in my mind, there's no question about it. Had his half brother killed, they stopped taking in, or at least they've said they stopped taking in and funding the coal that comes from North Korea into China, which would substantially decrease the amount of foreign currency going into North Korea. But at the same time, they're going after South Korea, because what is the United States doing? The United States, and I agree with this, is trying to help South Korea protect itself. We've been starting to build missiles, defensive missiles, against the North Koreans. You can't take a chance. But China is mad about that because they don't want South Korea to put in defensive missiles, because they use the BS or the jive that they think the missiles could be used against them. But they know South Korea is not going to shoot at China, just like they know the United States is not going to have a military action against China, just like we know that China is not going to take a military action against South Korea. Those three countries, it's not going to happen. The problem is North Korea, and you can't keep ignoring what's happening here. The South Koreans are entitled to a defense, and the people there get nervous, and one can understand why, because you're right on the boundary with North Korea, and then China is just north above there. And you have to sit there as a South Korean and go, man, my life's pretty good. The economy's pretty good. We got a pretty good functioning democracy here. We're starting to break through the chaebols, the six or whatever families that run most of the big business there. And South Korea is a really cool country. The North Koreans, though, are threatening them. And what the South Koreans, I believe, are missing are that they have to really get their defense together, because it doesn't matter how great their economy is, and it doesn't matter if China's going to sit there and try to cut back on trade to them to make them, the South Koreans, back off their defense. The common defense is the most important thing for each and every country, period. You can't trust North Korea. The South Koreans are going to have to stand there, they're going to have to take it from the Chinese. I mean, look, it's their call, but they're going to have to take it from the Chinese and say, look, I got to put up these missiles, Chinese. I'm not after you. You're our friends. We get along with you. You're good people. We're not looking for a fight with you. Our problem is North Korea. And what are you doing, China, to help us with North Korea? All they keep doing is shooting up more missiles and building up their stockpile and killing people. That's what the South Koreans should say to China. We should be saying to China, President Trump is supposed to be so great with the message. Where is the message? He should be all over. China, look at this. The North Koreans are not only threatening us, they're threatening our friends, the South Koreans. And they're going to be threatening you, because if they start war on the Korean Peninsula, the North Koreans, it's got to be horrible for the Chinese who are right there. They're going to taste some of it. It's just... people have to start a pincer movement. In no way are we talking military, but a pincer movement against the North Koreans. And we got to control the message. Where is President Trump controlling the message, saying we're backing our friends, and there's a reason we're backing our friends, not because of you, China, but because of the North Koreans, the crazy people, the sick man who will start a war if he can. And the South Koreans are entitled to this defense. We are entitled to our defense. The Chinese should be looking out for their own defense, because they can't trust this guy. And we got to do a pincer, pull in, and really shake this regime until it gets its head on straight. It's because they are going to force something. Don't think it's not going to happen. The North Koreans are going to force something, and it's not going to be good. And it's better if we're all working together now to try to deal with it than to sit back and be reactive when this lunatic decides to send a missile or send more VX and try to kill an American or a South Korean, or maybe even a Chinese administration official. It's got to be dealt with. Watch the Korean Peninsula. That place could blow up on a moment's notice. Peace.